Welcome back to the channel. It's raining in January in Willow, Alaska. This is what we're doing. We're cutting up some of this scrap lumber. It's the live edge from us milling our siding for inside the cabin. And we have a good pile of it. Got some here on the ground. So, and we'll also use some of these for plates. We'll sand them and use them for, you know, pizza and bread and fruits and vegetables and stuff. But anyways.
Another thing too, you can actually wear a sun hat when it's raining or snowing, and it keeps the snow and rain off of your face. It works lovely.
That's actually my favorite, is a like a straw hat.
Right.
You don't see many of them up here, but straw hat, like you'd have in the lower 48, just to keep the sun off. You know, the Walgreens ones, you know what I'm talking about. Those are great for snow hats. It just keeps the snow from coming down in your collar. And like if you have a big head, well then the extra larges are great because they'll go over a knit cap. They're great. They're like 20 bucks.
Yeah, it's worth it.
So anyways, we'll get to it. Chainsaw we're using here is a Steel MS 251C. So I don't know if it's super easy to start. Look at that. You just, that's nice. Crazy. Usually when it kicks once on these steels on choke, it turns over, then I take it off choke. About 33 degrees. This is a brace. Right, if you go here, it pulls it to you. That butt will hold it. Nice. Oh, cutting board.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, let's cut this, just shove this out just a little bit. Hold that. Alright. That is cool. I'm going to cut it right here. One more. Right there. So this excess lumber or wood came from our property, in case you're new to the channel. And this is just leftover stuff that would either get burned in a burn pile, or you cut it up to burn here, you know, in your fireplaces. We do a lot of cooking with the wood stove, so we use this small stuff. It gets the fire going good and hot. But this piece here we'll probably make into a cutting board. We'll sand it down. I think we'll show you that tomorrow. But we'll sand it down. It's about 5/8, maybe almost 3/4 inch thick. It's just a cool piece of wood. It's got a lot of character. And I was going to tell my wife Sarah that if some of our viewers wanted us to send them a little wood birch plate from Alaska, we can, more than happy to do that. So just let us know. Maybe if it fits at ship's box, you know,
right.
I don't know what they are, 16 by 11 or something like that.
Right.
But yeah, we'll turn this into a birch plate for making our pizzas and our bread and stuff like that. We'll take it inside, we'll dry it. This is ice. It's ice right there. we'll take it inside, dry it out by the fireplace. It'll want a cup, so we'll just kind of flip it and flip it and flip it until it doesn't want a cup anymore. We'll see. Sometimes they just dry out just fine. And we'll use them up, and then they kind of get dirty, and we just throw them in the fireplace, or cut them and throw them in the fireplace, and so you repurpose it. But I can see if you put cheese on it, or cheese and crackers and fruit and stuff,
Right.
it would last a really long time. So
Right, probably depends what you put on it.
yeah, and then throw it in the garden, put some planter pots on it, and when it decomposes, throw it back in the soil, and you got compost from Alaska.
I like it. So next what we'll do is keep making our birch plate and kind of show you the process of doing that.
Yeah, we'll cut the rest of this up here. We have a pile to cut up. We'll make some more little cutting boards. And
All right, so one of the first steps we do is getting the bark off of the cutting board. Now, if people don't have a mill, what's another way they can kind of,
well, you could use a chainsaw, and
create a cutting board? Use a
you could
chainsaw.
freehand it and then trim it down to something flat.
Right. Okay.
Chainsaw mill, you can use a, what do they call those? I don't know.
Yeah, so you could still make a cutting board even if you don't have a mill. There's different ways.
Yeah. So you can go to the hardware store or a lumber store and buy some, walnut or cherry or whatever, and we just use what we have here.
Right. If they don't have a palm sander, they can just probably sand by hand.
Absolutely. Just
It just takes a bit longer.
a block of wood. Yeah, you can.
And then which grit are you starting with first?
220.
220. So you're starting with the 220.
Well, no,
first.
hold on here. No. I'm starting with 100 grit.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
you're starting with 100 grit
the
first.
most coarse.
The most coarse
Yes.
first when you start sanding for your birch plate.
So I usually put a block of wood around that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Got it.
You got power over here? I didn't know if you did or not. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, you can do it that way.
Nice.
And then go to 150 grit.
Mm-hmm.
Then 220.
Right, just work your way to the
Thank you, Harley.
finer
Yeah, your
number.
finer grit.
Finer grit.
Wipe it down with some,
Mm-hmm.
olive oil, or peanut oil, or
And these can
vegetable oil, whatever you want.
sure. And these can be, you know, either plates or cutting boards, really whatever your use is for them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they're free.
This mark here is where, in a log form, or a cant, when this was becoming a cant that laid across the deck of the mill. That's that black.
Oh,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's a pretty good sized tree. A lot of pressure to do that.
Mm-hmm. No power yet. Hmm.
So our Porter cable is not working. I think it's done. It's funny how when one of the kids uses the tool last and it doesn't work. I have proof. I have proof that Brady used it last because he did some work on his truck and he has a blue truck.
That is so proof. Total proof.
Now it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, I don't have a block of wood here.
You.
Yeah.
We can look. Let's go find one.
Thank you. So that was 100 grit, see? Just hold it with your fingers.
Now he's moving on to the 150 grit. Now, is there any special way that you need to sand, like any certain angle that gives it a better sanding?
Well, I try to just go with the grain,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, up and down the tree.
Okay.
But I mean, everybody's gonna do it how they want to do it. But boy, it sure smooths out. You can see some lines here.
Oh wow, that's really smooth.
Yeah, that's the 150 grit.
Goodness. That's
some oil
super
on it.
smooth. Smoother than it looks. I like to use the wood better than the plastic cutting boards, because the plastic cutting boards, if you read up on it, you're just, when you cut, you know, your food on the plastic cutting boards, you are ingesting a certain portion of plastic. And you guys can do the research yourself, but that is what I read. So we try and stay away from plastic, you know, when we can, when we can afford it, because that plastic is no good. It's in
there's just so much plastic.
Too many things are packaged in plastic. Too much plastic.
It's too much.
Too much.
It's just too much.
So this would be a great option for you guys if you want to, you know, if you have access to some wood and the tools you need to do this, because it would just be, you know, you wouldn't be using a plastic cutting board, and this is probably a little bit healthier depending on what you used it for. And you just go to the hardware store. We just got our sanding paper at the hardware store for
Willow Hardware?
Yeah, Willow Hardware for like, what, $6, so it's pretty cheap. So not a lot of expense in the sandpaper, and we'll have some left over. But again, you know, and then there's different ways you could get your slab of wood. Some people order the wood online, and then they do stuff with it. So it's a good option to get away from that plastic cutting board. And then we also will do the same thing with smaller pieces of wood and just kind of make our birch plates. We'll serve, you know, dinner on it, bread, just like a plate, kind of like a big thick paper plate.
Yeah, those are once or twice we use it and then we throw it in the fireplace.
Exactly. All right, so we're back inside the cabin now, and we're going to be oiling our cutting board here with some olive oil. Is that good?
No, that's good.
Okay.
Thank you.
And what's the purpose, and why do we oil it?
I think it just kind of
Keeps it from
hydrates the
cracking?
wood. Oh wow, it's thirsty. That's good.
So usually,
Yeah, it just kind of hydrates the wood.
right.
But it sure brings the grain out too. You know.
Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, and the cutting board is all finished. Looks very, very nice. So that's just one way you can, you know, make a birch cutting board for free, or birch plates. It's just one way. Very nice. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, we just got through making a homemade pizza, and we're using our birch cutting board. So nice, nice and smooth. All right, guys, it is the next day, and as you can see behind me here, we got about 1 to 2 inches of snow overnight. So today we're going to be bringing up these pieces, putting these in our wood shed so they can start drying a little bit, and then we use these for firewood. So we're going to start moving some of the wood today in case we get a lot more snow. So anytime we can add to our wood pile and our firewood, we do, just so, you know, we don't have to go cut down any trees in the snow. We'll let these dry out. Sometimes we'll bring these in the cabin, let them dry out by the fire, and then they make excellent firewood. So not letting it go to waste. All right, so as you guys can see, we've gotten probably a couple inches of fresh snow overnight since yesterday. And still have more to do there, but we have to take it easy on Jeff's back and just do little chunks at a time. First tip is turn your sled and point it the way you want to pull when you have the load of wood on. So I'm going to turn these sleds around and then start filling them up. All right, next we're going to go on over to our tool shed, and we're going to get a mud rake. Let's take a look here in the tool shed. And one upgrade we did in here, actually Hudson did, is he built a platform there for the generator. So this kind of now doubles as a generator shed slash tool shed. So now the generator is starting way easier in the mornings when it's really cold. And it's not getting rained on and snowed on. There you go, Lily. All right, so Lily here is going to show you another way we use a mud rake in the winter time here for our Shelter Logic. It was kind of icy. She had to zip up on it pretty quickly. All right, so Lily's going to go inside now. When you do this, if you do it, you want to go a little gentle when you do tap from the inside. Now the snow's only probably about an inch, inch and a half, but we thought we would just kind of demonstrate. All right, Lily, go ahead. There it goes. How we kind of just get some of that weight off. Works pretty good. Again, just have to be careful you don't, go crazy on the canvas there. And when it's a really dry snow, it'll just slough right off without leaving any snow up there. So it's a little bit of a wet snow today. Nice. That looks good, Lily. What? That looks good. And we just did a carport versus Shelter Logic review on one of our latest videos. Oh, Lily? What? I think you just ripped through the canvas. Did I? Oh no. Uh-oh. Oops. Well, she did not mean to do that, and we will have to just use some tape to tape that up. So we'll deal with that here in a little bit. However, we do go over the differences between the Shelter Logics here and the carports in one of our latest videos. If you guys are thinking about ever moving, to land and slowly building and you just don't have the money or the time to build a shop or garage. My favorite here is this Shelter Logic. It is more expensive, does take longer to set up, but it's pretty darn tough. Lily, that's okay. You don't have to do any more. We'll want to repair that spot. These are great. These Costco carports are great. Super fast to put up, fairly affordable, but they just are not as tough as that. All right. Lily, what are you doing? Well, come on out. It's already been ripped. Now we have to repair it. She's hiding. Oops.
Not that big of a hole.
It's not too big of a hole. We could fix it. Oops.
What?
You put a hole in there.
What?
The Shelter Logic.
Salt?
Alright, so we're going to put the mud rake up. Always want to put your tools back when it snows or sometimes you won't find them. Right, so we're just going to have to patch that spot up that accidentally got punched through the Shelter Logic. No worries. That'll be a whole nother video. Lily just did that on purpose to give me another video idea.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh well.
Well, she just was giving me another video idea.
What'd you do?
She accidentally poked a little hole in the Shelter Logic.
With what?
The mud rake. She's just giving me content ideas, I think.
Why did you have to?
All right. Uh-oh. I'm going to get in the middle of a snowball fight here. This is not good. All right. Well, we will see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. I'm going to get out of here because they get pretty serious with their snowball fights. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.